Today's Morphin Network video is brought to you by Karson's Korner. Karson's Korner is a black LGBTQ owned small business. They sell merchandise and apparel on pop culture franchises. These franchises include King of the Hill, Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, and of course most importantly, Power Rangers. If you're interested in getting their amazing merch, be sure to check them out at www.carsonscorner.com.
What's wrong with him, Doctor?
I have no idea, Haley. His vitals are stable, but his brain patterns are wildly erratic.
Can you get him out of it?
We're trying, but he's not responding to anything.
But he's gonna be okay, right?
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. The longer he stays like this, the more at risk he is.
Thanks, Dr. Walsh.
Your friend's gonna get the best care possible.
So, Mr. Wright, how are you doing, sir?
Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Yes, so how is it there in New Zealand?
Oh, it's fantastic. We've just gone into daylight savings, which is what the time thing was about. So it's getting dark much earlier, but the weather's still really good. And, we're pretty lucky here. We can come and go as we please. No restrictions, really. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, same here in LA. We're still in kind of lockdown, but cases are going down due to vaccinations. But again, we're staying safe always. So hello, everyone. Welcome to another interview of Morphin Network. We have veteran Power Rangers voice actor Edwin Wright. For people wondering who is he actually was the voice of Spiketor from Power Rangers SPD. Here's what the picture looks like.
One of the final monsters of the day.
And you guys didn't know he actually treated the legend himself, Jason David Frank. Yes, he was his doctor. You guys can remember this was him in that scene. And yep, so there's JDF tucked in all nice.
Wow.
And of course,
that was a long time ago. Oh my goodness.
So yeah, guys, you could say he is JDF's doctor. So
I was actually in the last season as well, playing a studio manager.
Oh, for Beast Morphers?
Sorry?
So you said last season, right? Oh, that's cool. Interesting.
Yeah. And I've also just auditioned for the season that's been shot now to play a younger version of one of the season regulars. Yeah.
Ah, interesting. But yeah, guys. So yeah, again, Edwin, welcome. It's an honor to have you here. And again, special thank you to Campbell Cooley for recommending you. So special thanks, Campbell. So Edwin, how did you start with acting?
I'd done a bit of stuff at high school and I really loved it, but the school I went to, the arts weren't really valued very much. So I left high school and ended up working just in retail for a few years before I decided to go to university. Mm-hmm. And while I was at university, Otago University, they've got a really great theatre department. And so I went along and did an audition and got a part, and then did another audition and got another part, and all of a sudden just found myself getting lots of opportunities there and just kind of ran with it, and been doing it ever since. So I came to it late. I was about 23, 24 before I started taking it seriously, but just threw myself into it and I've loved it ever since. Mainly theatre is what I really, really enjoy. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So we did read your IMDb, and oh my god, you were in a lot of films I grew up as a kid. So we'll get to that later.
How did you get started with voice acting?
Basically, that's necessity. It's a tough industry, man, and voice acting is just a sort of another way of earning money, and it's fun. So again, that's just something. Sort of most of the actors I know here have a crack at doing voice stuff. Some do really, really well. Some don't. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. it's not a huge focus of mine. But it's honestly another way of earning money. Yeah.
But heck, like you're actually good at it too, because I heard some of your voice work. I did see your reels, and oh my god, they were impressive. So.
I do some. I think I'm starting to. I think as I get a bit older, my voice is getting a different sort of timbre and pitch. So I think it's working better for me now. Yeah.
So speaking of Power Rangers, how did you get started working for Power Rangers?
I honestly can't. Honestly, it was so long ago, man. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. Cam and a couple of people were involved with, and this guy Jim, do the loot groups for Power Rangers and do all the monster fights and all that kind of stuff. And they asked me to come along and do some sort of background noises and bits. And then they asked, they said, "Do you want to do this one?" Of course I do. In the series, what's it called? Beast something?
Beast Morphers.
That one, I knew the director and he just offered me the role. So it's just a standard sort of, you put yourself in the right place at the right time and, get picked up. Yeah.
Final episode of SPD, the final monster of the day.
Spiketor.
Spiketor. The prototype design for the orange heads. How did you come to come with the voice that you chose to go with for the character?
To find the voice. That's always kind of fun, because they have the pictures, the designs there for you to look at, and then it's a process of just trying different things and seeing what feels right. It's sometimes it can take a long time, but it's just a matter of, you play, you just make offers, throw it out there and talk about what works, what doesn't, and then just sort of over a period of time, just clean it up so it just feels good and feels right. And obviously you want to find something where you're not straining your voice too much, which I've learned the hard way. And so it can be repeated again and again and again, because often, you may have to do 15 to 20 takes on one line to try and get it right. And if you're doing something really rough on your voice, you can burn it out really quickly. So it's just a matter of it's honestly looking at the thing and going, what does he sound like? And then throwing out ideas and having a bit of a play. And being a little bit stupid too, I think helps. It's good to just be a little bit silly at first, because that often sort of makes something interesting. And then you can sort of dial it back into something more real and more accessible for the audience.
I see. Now, again, this goes to my next question, which I'll ask. So, you did mention earlier that you did play a character in Dino Thunder, which is actually very iconic right now, because you guys don't know, your character saved the most popular Power Ranger of all time, Tommy Oliver. So here's
Wow.
Yeah, so
I'm a hero.
Yep, you're a hero in the story, because ADF, Tommy Oliver was basically a Power Ranger legend in history, and you guys didn't know he was Edwin played a doctor, which was Dr. Welsh in Power Rangers Dino Thunder. So can you tell us what was the experience filming that scene? Well, because you were in a room with 3 Power Rangers and no legendary Power Ranger. Well, how did it feel like?
Look, I've got to be honest with you. For me, honestly, it's a fun job, but it's just a job to me. I don't know anything about Power Rangers. I know there's different colors. It's I'm into motorbikes and board games. So to me, they were just actors I was working with, and they're all fun. That's one thing I do remember about Power Rangers set, is that they're a really fun time to be there. Everyone's because it's a show that is so loved and so enjoyed by so many people. It's just a fun feeling on set. It's playful, it's energetic. Everyone seems pretty happy to be there. But in terms of I don't know who these actors are. I don't know who the characters are. So I'm just playing the scene. It was fun, I guess.
But as a kid, we actually loved your character because you actually saved our hero. So Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and me
that's-
wanting to go into. I apologize. I was gonna say me
No,
going
no.
into medicine. I have an appreciation for TV doctors to some extent. So you can
Well,
honestly
yeah.
say you are a hero's hero.
Honestly, I'm so happy to hear that because I had no idea. I had honestly no idea. So I'm thank you guys. I'm really happy to hear that. I'm glad to be a part of that. Yeah.
Definitely.
As you know, very recently a certain movie came out on HBO Max involving a certain Titan of the primate origin. So tell us a little bit about your role in Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. Have you guys seen it?
Yes, I did.
I saw the. You know
Yeah.
what's funny is the same movie was playing on 2 different channels at the same time one day, and they were at the exact same scene on both channels. So you flip to one channel, she's running from the dinosaurs. You flip to the second channel, it's the same scene where she's running from the dinosaurs.
Yeah. That was a really fun shoot for me. So we were on the second unit, so we weren't sort of doing all the stuff on the island or on the boat. The scene was in a theatre, and I'm playing one of the stage actors. So Adrian Brody's character is a writer, and he's written this play to sort of explore his love for this woman, and I'm essentially playing the stage version of him. And to try and get information from this woman, I've dressed as a woman, which was fun, man. They shaved my legs and gave me tights, and I had the heels and the makeup and the earrings and the wig and the hat, the whole deal. So it was a really playful time on set, and we had an audience. We had like 150 extras sitting, playing the audience members, all dressed in 40s outfits, and because I was dressed in drag essentially. And even that short scene took like 4 or 5 days to shoot, I think. It was just a lot of fun hamming it up for the extras as they sat there watching. It was a fun time. I've never had to do that since. Dress drag, but it's a good opportunity to play. Yeah, it was fun. Very grateful for it.
And I love King Kong too. I'm actually glad that you're part of film that was part of my childhood, 2005. I was 10 years old at that time, so and of course, Godzilla vs. King Kong, but of course, I would still love the original Kong to this day. Well, the original remake, but yeah. Now since we're talking about monsters, you are actually part of another film that actually really likes, actually underrated. It's called Meg. You guys don't know the Megalodon, the shark. It came out I think 2 years ago or last year. So, yes, Statham. Okay, tell us what your experience finally filming an live-action incarnation of Megalodon.
So this was a pretty small role. I was playing a helicopter pilot.
I remember that.
I was so disappointed that they didn't put me in a real helicopter, because I've never been in one, and I thought this is my chance. I'm going to get to be in a helicopter, pretending to fly it. No, it was just on a rig in a sound studio. There's an interesting story about that one. So in the film, we're throwing depth charges off the helicopter to blow up the shark, and we blow it up. It was the wrong shark, but we blow up a shark, and all this gunk gets splattered into my face. It's fat and it's mucus and all that kind of thing. And there's a shot in the film that my face is just covered in the stuff. What they actually did on the day was shoot that into my face with a cannon. But they ended up not using that shot in the film. They just showed the after effects, so they could have just painted it on. So when they shot it at me, it went right up my nose and into the back of my throat. It's like gas-powered. It was, not a pleasant experience, and I was really disappointed that they didn't actually use that shot in the film.
But hey, you're still part of it. I mean, an underrated movie. And plus, the only film that actually involved Megalodon. So, because I love monsters. So that's why.
Yeah, a
Have
friend
you
of mine
guys
once
seen
said,
Turbo Kid?
Huh?
Have you guys seen a film called Turbo Kid?
Turbo Kid? I heard
of it.
Watch Turbo Kid. If you guys are into this kind of stuff, you will love Turbo Kid.
Oh, I thought you said 2x. No, Turbo. Yes, I did watch Turbo Kid. Yeah, Turbo Kid. Yes, I did watch it. I thought I had 2x. Turbo Kid. Yes, I did watch it.
Yeah, you played Skeletron in it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a fun film, man. That was filming. That was the best fun I have ever had on set, like far and away. It was magic. It was such a great crowd. It was shot in Montreal. Amazing people. I had so much fun with that character because originally that character was written as in the script it said Enter Skeletron, and in brackets it had Think Bane from Batman. They wanted a big, massive guy. And I got there to Montreal and I said, look, I'm not that. I'm not a big beefcake. I can't do that. And I said to them, but look, I've got some cool ideas. Let me play with it, and we'll find something. And so it was this really neat process of experimenting and offering and discovering and developing something. And I think what we ended up with was way better than the original idea, because it gave all the gravity to Michael Ironside's character. Mm-hmm. So if you think of Michael Ironside like a sun, like a big, a star, a gas giant, and I'm like this little planet that's whizzing around it. Mm-hmm. It was just such a fun shoot, man. It was, and I write that low budget, analog special effects and stuff, real old school movie making. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one was a real treat. It's great doing the big blockbusters, sure, but there's a real joy when it's a lot more hands-on, and you're allowed to have a lot more influence and effect on the process. Yeah.
Definitely.
I've always wondered, Michael Ironside is always known for playing these jerk characters. So is he nice in real life as opposed to his character?
Yeah, is he nice in real life?
He's a dude, man. Like he's hard. He's he's kind of gruff, but he's such a lovely, lovely man. He put me up in Montreal for 2 weeks for free in his apartment because I needed a place to stay. He took me out one day and took me all around Montreal, showing me all the, the secret local places, places to get cannoli, Italian restaurants, smoke houses to get, Reuben sandwiches and stuff. He was amazing. That's so great to work with. Such a great guy. Everyone on that set was fantastic to work with. Lawrence Booth is just fantastic. The real pleasure, that one. I've got my fingers crossed that they're going to make a second one. They've wanted to for a while, but they've been working on other projects.
I'm glad to hear you had such a wonderful experience enough to want a sequel to happen. So. Oh yeah. I know that a lot of people on our show are big fans of this series. What was it like being on The Seeker?
Legend of Seeker.
Yeah, Legend of Seeker.
Yeah, that was fun as well. I think I was only in one episode of that, if I remember correctly. And again, it was a long time ago. It was fun. I'm trying to remember back. I remember the armor was a pain in the ass in that. Armors always can be really difficult to wear because you're sort of, you're stuck in it for a long, long time. And it's sort of generic. It's not made specifically for your body. So after you've been wearing it for 8 hours, it's chafing under the arm and it's hot, because often that stuff over here we shoot in summer. And if you're in a big warehouse studio thing, it can be pretty exhausting. In fact, when we did Underworld 3, I think that's the only movie ever made with sweaty vampires, because it was the middle of summer in a big warehouse. Yeah.
Can you talk about Underworld? Because that was kind of cool. I didn't know about that. I love Underworld series.
Yeah, so Rise of the Lycans, I play Death Dealer Captain, which is the Bill Nighy's sort of lieutenant.
I knew it.
Yeah. So I got to spend a lot of time with Bill Nighy, which was amazing. That guy is incredible. He was special man. He was. We got to talk about theatre, which was just incredible for me, because he's a theatre luminary. He's legendary, and we sat down day after day and just talking about theatre and storytelling, and it was just magic. And because I had done quite a bit of theatre, it was an excuse for us to engage. It was a total treat for me, because on a set, in a situation like that, when you're working that closely with someone like Bill Nighy, it's kind of rude to get in their face and start conversations.
Right.
You know, it's polite to just, you know, be engaged, you know, be ready to be engaged, but don't get in their face, man, because, you know, they've got a job to do and it's exhausting. So I hadn't really had a chance to talk to him, but he happened to ask one of the makeup ladies if there were any shows happening in Auckland City. And she said, I don't know, but Edwin does a lot of theatre, he'll know. And so I'm sitting in the makeup chair and he's like, Edwin Wright, I hear you do a bit of theatre. And it was just inside, I was just going, yes, I've got my in. It was really exciting for me because I've admired him for so long, and I was looking for my chance to, you know, start a proper chat with him. Yes, so it was just very sort of serendipitous and really fond memory, really fond memory. He probably doesn't remember me, but I remember everything about it.
I loved him in Pirate Radio. That was one of my favorite movies.
Oh yeah, man.
Placed in the 60s.
Yeah.
He's so fantastic. He's so fantastic.
Do you have any advice to any aspiring actor or actress that want to be in the entertainment industry?
That's a hard one. Okay. It's a really tough industry. It's hard. It's really hard. Even the people you think are successful, probably not as successful as you think. It's a struggle for, you know, pretty much everyone. So the first thing I'd say, if you're going to do it, make sure you love it. Make sure you love it, because if you're doing it because you want fame or recognition, or you think it might be easy or the money's good, you're just going to get disappointed. And it's a lot of work to get success and get work, and it's a lot to maintain. So, and if you don't love it, if it doesn't really fulfill you and make you happy, it's going to burn you out really quick. But that being said, don't be afraid of trying it. You know, go and do some classes. Look at your community, see if there's any acting classes going on. You know, amateur theatre stuff that you can start exploring to see if you enjoy performance, because the stuff you learn in theatre will help you on camera. But you know, don't be afraid to just go and play, because it's a really joyful experience. But I think a lot of people have illusions about the reality of the industry and what it takes, and they can often very easily be sort of disillusioned by that. I especially see it with young actors who have had a bit of success, you know, teen actors like the stars of Power Rangers and stuff, and other shows where they're quite young when they have their first flush of success. And it can lead them to a pretty unrealistic impression of the industry. And I've seen it happen again and again and again. When the work stops coming, they fall to pieces, because all they've ever known is success. All they've ever known is that, you know, they're great and fantastic and they've got fans, all this stuff. And it can turn off. It can turn off like that. And I've seen, especially young actors, who haven't been guided through it properly, it can burn them, you know? Yeah, so make sure you love it and be realistic. Keep your head on. That's my advice. Yeah.
Definitely. That's good advice. Definitely good advice. That's really good advice.
So, within the boundaries of your non-disclosure agreements, are there any upcoming projects that you're in that you are able to share with us? And if so, what would some of those projects be?
I don't have a lot on my plate at the moment. It's been really tough for the industry. There's a bit of work happening here, but I just haven't been able to nail down anything. There's a couple of things I'm on shortlist for, so I'm hoping that turns around. One of them is the current season of Power Rangers. Ooh. I can't really say much about it. I've already said a younger version of a season regular. That's about all I can say.
Okay. So guys, no dying for your questions, all right? Because I legit see you guys in the comments. No one's even asked. Same thing with our past actors who were involved with it. Do not ask time for your questions, right? You don't want them in trouble.
I'm already speculating. Not gonna lie.
Even you do not try anything, Mike.
I'm not gonna ask anything about Dino Fury, but I am. But like with the hint you already gave, I'm trying to speculate who's the regular that you're the younger version.
Anyway, moving on.
Well, I'm gonna say I don't know if this character's in any of the other seasons. He may have just been in the one that's shooting now.
Mm-hmm.
So you may not have seen him before.
Anyway, it's pretty much. All right, guys. Again, so no time for your questions, guys. All right, so now to fan questions. So hello. So here are some fan questions. So Edwin, you ready for the fans?
Yeah.
So Aaron Gelb says, "Hi, did you watch the finale of SPD once it was aired?" Oh, he's asking if you were able to watch your voice. Oh, basically your character when it aired already. So this episode, this guy.
I have never ever in my life seen an episode of Power Rangers.
Wow, really?
Haven't seen it.
Interesting.
I did play with the toys once with my nephew when he was a kid, but I've never watched an episode. Yeah.
But yes, but you did.
I'm 47 years old. It's sort of I was into other things when I was a kid.
No worries.
Yeah.
But you did a good job though. Like I mean, a Spiketor and anything that was good. Especially this role. This role I always remember you for. So.
Yeah. This is the Star Wars related issue. It's not about losing the will to live. It's about but you know he will pull through. He's a guy. He's got some hurdles to deal with.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Timmy Dacus says, "Hi, I think I saw you in Beast." Yeah, he was in Beast Morphers as the boss, right? For you?
Yeah. Yep.
Favorite movie of all time?
That's really good, but I can't answer it. There's too many. There are just too many great movies. One of the first movies that made me just go, my eyes bulge out in the cinema was Empire Strikes Back. My father took me to see it when I was a kid, and there's a movie theater in Auckland called the Civic, and it's a big old grand movie theater, big grand seats, and the ceiling is covered in starlight. Twinkling. So it was the whole, and it was just so, it was the first time I remember being in the movies and like my heart rate going up and goosebumps and just on the edge of my seat, unable to control myself because of the movie itself and the space. I can't say what my favorite movie is because there's just far too many, but in movie experiences, definitely that one.
You know, definitely that one. Of all the actors we asked that question, or some fans asked it, a lot of them said Star Wars. And it's funny, is even Star Wars was my first movie I watched in 1999. Yeah. Yes, I know Phantom Menace is not liked by a lot of people, but that was the first movie I watched as a kid in theaters. So Star Wars has that special,
Empire Strikes Back specifically is just it. Every time I see it now, I've got goosebumps now thinking about it.
Yeah, my first experience with Star Wars in general, outside of watching the commercials for the VHS tapes in the 90s, was watching a syndicated viewing of Empire Strikes Back. But I started watching at the scene where Han and Leia were about to kiss each other, midway through the movie. So, like, from that point in the movie up to the end of the film, it was my first Star Wars experience in terms of actually watching the movies. Before that, all I had was commercials, and I honestly thought Princess Leia was the main character. Like, not just one of the main character, but the main character.
Yeah.
Yes, Star Wars is Star Wars. This is the way.
So bad what they did to the last film. So bad.
Oh my god, I agree with you. So bad. Let's go a little off topic. Did you watch The Mandalorian?
Sorry?
You watched The Mandalorian?
The Mandalorian is so good. I love The Mandalorian. Oh, yeah. So this is what Star Wars should be. Yes. I'm so happy they've got them on board because what they did to the final trilogy was unforgivable, in my opinion. To go into that process without a clear direction and plan, to make it up as you go along, to me is unforgivable. Like, I get angry. That is unforgivable to do that to that franchise.
Definitely.
And so, thank heaven, Favreau and crew have come in and actually done it properly. And they've done it really, really well. Have you heard of Force and Destiny, the Star Wars role-playing game?
Yes,
I've heard of it. Yes.
It's like Dungeons and Dragons and Star Wars. Have you played it? It's so good.
I did. Me and my little cousin used to play it. So
I'll say
so
this.
good, man.
I'll say this. My favorite episode was when you finally see Boba Fett get his armor back, because the way they shot that scene, it looked like they were big fans of Robot Chicken. Because I don't know if you've ever watched the show Robot Chicken, but they had 3 Star Wars specials, and in the beginning of the second one, you had the party scene from Return of the Jedi where they're on Endor, and then Boba Fett just shows up, and he's got 2 lightsabers and kills all of the Ewoks. And what's funny is that the way Boba killed all those stormtroopers in that episode of Mandalorian, you could play the audio footage from the episode of Robot Chicken, and it still fits down to the point where he says, "And the quarterback is toast."
Oh my god. Yes.
They might have been a little nod to Robot Chicken for keeping the flame burning, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
So guys, Mandalorian's Disney Plus season 2, season 1. So watch it right now. What's funny is my god sister's actually in the Mandalorian. She's actually with a krill.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in season 1. Remember the krill farmer that Mando talks, the farmer girl with the water planet? Well, the swamp planet. My god sister was the farmer, so she's actually in it.
Oh, cool, man. Oh, look at. I'd love to be on that show.
Yes. Let's see. There's the last question. Oh, wait, before that. I love Fighting Spirit. You said Tommy's parents were wildly erratic. Yeah, that's what you said. As a doctor. Now, here's a question. How is it being in King Kong based on the 1930s? Oh, we could ask it, but you can elaborate more, Edwin.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that project was such a massive beast. It was such a. It was a really, really big project. So it was interesting to be in, but I've definitely felt like a sort of peripheral satellite part of it. All the really big stuff was happening elsewhere. With all the stuff they were shooting on the island and all that kind of thing. But it was just mammoth. And like I was talking about before, spending that time on the stage, in the studio, on the fake theatre stage, was heaps of fun interacting with the other, the extras and stuff, and just playing with the other actors dressed as being dressed as a woman. It was a fun experience. But it's weird being on those big blockbusters, because you often, unless you've got a sort of a really pivotal, integral role, it feels like this big thing that's happening elsewhere. I mean, it's hard to describe. Unless you've been on a set of one of these things, it's hard to describe the amount of moving parts. It's like a little village or small town pops up, and all these different places dealing with different aspects, from costume to catering to sound. It's just massive. So I always feel very small on those things. Yeah.
So we have one more person else on the greet you. So Jen says hello. One member says hello.
Hi.
So that's pretty much it. Okay, guys. So yeah, guys, thank you for being part of the special interview with Edwin Wright. Again, he was the voice of Spiketor from Power Rangers SPD, and technically he was also in Beast Morphers as the director, and also
studio director.
Director, and also Dr. Welsh from SPD, from Dino Thunder. Here he goes. He looked like he was so young back then. Look at that.
I know. Look at that hair. It's terrible. And I may be in the next season as well. Maybe.
Yeah. So
you could have passed for a Russian actor, like with the features.
One more question. This is a good one. How was it like being the boss in 2 episodes of Beast Morphers?
It's fun. Yeah. I mean, it's a funny thing with doing the voices, because when we do those voices, we only read those lines, so we don't know what's happening in the rest of the episode. So it's hard to have context of what's actually going on. Again, we're just a cog in a very large machine. It's and because I had never read the whole script, I don't think I even had when I'm talking, I don't even think I know what the responses are to what I'm saying. or what I'm answering. It's just I'm giving because they keep it all it's all, there's a lot of privacy involved, and so we only know what we're saying. So it is. I've got to say though, it's really lovely that there is such a huge sort of fan base and love of the show, and it's really nice to be a part of it, even though it's not something that I watch, because I love fans. I'm a fan. I've got stuff I totally geek out about that I really love, and I think and the audience are the important thing. None of this happens without the audience. It's all for the audience. It's the fans that make it. Because if it wasn't for the fans, it would just be some,
one and done,
an artifact that has no value. It's you guys that give it value, and that's a really beautiful thing, man. Keep it up.
Definitely. And thank you for being part of the franchise. Yes, they are the Ranger actors themselves, but of course they're also the voice actors. Because again, without the Power Ranger without the villains, there's no Power Rangers to fight for them to fight. So
villains are the best, man. Villains are the best.
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
And you are technically
Boba Fett is one of the coolest characters ever, right?
Yep.
One of the coolest characters ever.
And of course, you will forever be remembered in history for saving the legendary Ranger Tommy Oliver. So that you will be remembered for always for that. So
my gift to you guys.
Yeah, save Tommy, guys. He's a hero. All right, so yeah.
Hey, nice to talk to you guys.
All right, so Edwin, before we go, and in this broadcast, where can you find you on social media if you have any?
I'm only on Facebook, and I keep it pretty private. I'm not on Instagram or Twitter because I've got other things to do with my time.
No worries.
Yeah. If it's not raining, I'm outside riding my motorcycle or doing something. So.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. What model, if I may ask?
What model?
I've got a BMW R9T Racer.
Nice.
It's a beautiful, beautiful machine. I do a lot of riding. That's where I was earlier today. I just got back from a ride, and then did this. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, if it were me, I would love to have a 2006 Honda Fireblade because I have a soft spot for that one because the Japanese version of Power Rangers has a sister show of the same genre, and my favorite lead character from that show rides on a modified 2006 Honda Fireblade, which is why if I had a motorcycle, I'd get that one.
Nice.
Do it, dude. Do it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Mike, where can you find you?
Well, when I'm not pretending to be listening to Steppenwolf, you could find me on Instagram at chrono_just_cosplay, and you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto.
You can find me on Instagram, DancerBoy247, and please follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter at the Morphin Network. All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being part of this lovely evening for here in the US, and of course, afternoon there in New Zealand. And yeah, guys, thank you so much. And Edwin, thank you so much for being our special guest. All right, guys.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Big love.
All right, guys. We'll do a goodbye. So, bye, guys.
Today's Morphin Network video is sponsored by Ranger Stop and Pop, which is now August the 27th to the 29th, 2021 in Atlanta, Georgia. And Ranger Stock Convention, which is now November 11th to the 14th, 2021 in Orlando, Florida. Go to rangerstop.com for more info.